what is going on? We are coming in here to the Volt lab, coming back to get my boat. Coming back to get the boat. Everything was, for the most part, somewhat stock for the 2024 Falcon. And as you can see, I got dual mount up front, I got some stuff here, and I have some batteries. And of course, here's Brandon, the guy that did it all for me.
How's it going?
So, what all did you do for me?
Man, really, we got all your electronics off of the starting battery in the boat, put it on its own circuit, on its own lithium battery, which is ideal, especially if you're running front-facing sonar, is you kind of want to keep all your electronics off of the cranking battery because there's stuff that can introduce noise like bilge pumps, motors, keeping your wires away from the trolling motor wires. But just having it on its own lithium battery is just, you'll see a night and day difference in your electronics if you do that. And obviously you went with that route, which I'm pretty sure you're gonna be stoked about. So
let's see what we got into over here. Lift this up. All right, so as you guys know, came with 2 trolling motor batteries when I first got the boat last year, 2024 Falcon, and I got one all the way over here. Now this is what I got myself into, is a lithium battery for my electronics and my electronics purposes only. And as you said there, so what all did you do with this?
So basically, everything was on your starting battery, which is here, which it runs everything on the boat. Everything factory, that when this thing is bought at the dealership, everything factory runs off of this. What a lot of people do is they take, add electronics and different stuff and they just tie it into the starting battery. But we don't want to do that. We want to put all your sensitive electronics away from the circuit because there's things that can introduce noise, and I like to put it on its own lithium battery. So 2 good things. Like I said, it keeps the noise away. Also, the cool thing about lithium is you'll hover around that 13 volts pretty much for the whole drain time of the battery until the BMS in it says, hey, I have no more, and it will just shut off. So your electronics are going to work at its peak performance all day, with one charge of the battery. Lead acid batteries, your voltage kind of can roll down as the day goes on, and your electronics can work, not as efficient as when you started. So that's the cool thing about lithium is, you can keep your same voltage all day.
So what is this that you added right here?
This is a circuit breaker. I like to do circuit breakers in case anything does happen. You can reset it on the water instead of having a physical fuse. And it's low profile, it's nice. Just like you see a lot of these on trolling motor setups, like you have one over there that they put in. So it's just a 20 amp circuit breaker, just prevents you from being stuck on the water with no graphs or anything. You can always flip that back, but it will be something pretty severe for that to pop. But what it does in fuses in general is it protects the wire, not your product, but the wire itself, because obviously you don't want to burn on the water. So always have a fuse or a circuit breaker as close to the battery as possible. So
now, do you have to run all new wires, or did you use existing wires?
No, ran all new, pretty much 8 gauge from your circuit breaker right here to the fuse panel, which we'll show you guys here in just a second. I like to run roughly, if you have 3 or more graphs, I like to run 8 gauge to kind of supply everything. Then from on the other side of the fuse panel, we'll run something a little thinner than that. You don't have to run 8 gauge to everything.
Now, just so you guys know, when I bought the boat, it came with 2 9-inch helixes. So I had a SI and I had a DI up front. So I upgraded. So as you can see, I have 2 HDS10 Pros right now that are running right here. Now, I also took my old FS9 on my last boat that I first got, to try out live scope. So I have my FS9 there for mapping, and I have my 12 live up front. Now, he also took a lot of the wiring that I had on here, and he maneuvered some stuff around. So I'll have him explain this to you guys.
So you had your graphs powered off of a switch here to tell them to turn on, which you don't need to do that. For me, I don't like to have switches or anything between the battery and your device. It's just another area that can fail on you. So no longer that turns on your graphs. When you flip that circuit breaker back there, all your graphs have power. you know, at the end of the day, when you're done, just flip it off and you don't have to worry about it. So I just don't like to have mechanical switches in between the battery and the source.
So what did you actually do?
So originally, the previous shop that installed it, they had the power, I guess, to your graphs just ran to the switch, which was on your crank-in battery.
All right.
Which, you know, we're no longer doing that. So these are independently ran to a fuse panel. Then from that fuse panel is to the battery.
So where did you install that fuse panel at?
Oh man, I think this is one of my favorite spots in boats. It's just very convenient and easy. And you know, if anything happens on the water, you can, you know, easily access it.
So I'm right here in my rod locker, just so you guys know where we're at right now.
Yep, and cover comes off. There's your fuses, and easy to access. A lot of the factories with these boats, they'll tuck a fuse panel just at the worst place possible. Just like even in this Falcon, they just kind of shoved it where the foot pedal is, which I don't feel is an ideal location. But I like to use the rod locker against pretty much the dash of the boat, just because it's easy and really out of the weather, because this does, you know, protect.
So now, if one of my graphs goes out and blows a fuse, I can go right in there.
Yep, you
very
can just
easily. Yeah,
just open this up and look in here, and it will, you know, just super easy to get to. So I just like putting them here, and I custom made a PVC board. I never use wood in boats. Actually, I got 2 sheets right here. It's board made out of PVC, and then I carpeted it to match your factory interior. So it just, you know, aesthetically just makes it look pretty good. It just isn't thrown in here. But yeah. I don't know how to put that.
So now I am all set. Before I only had my 112 up here. I had my old FS9, which I put that on there just for mapping purposes because it still works great. It's touchscreen. But adding not the regular 10s and HDS 10 Pro with the HD transducer. Now, according to him, I'm going to go out tomorrow. I'm going to hit up Percy Priest just to see the difference of having continuous proper volts going to all my graphs, and especially live scope up front.
Yes, it's very important for live scope, you know, to have a good, you know, higher voltage, I guess you could say. Anything about 12.8 to 13.2, that's kind of a sweet spot for all of your electronics, but especially active target or Panoptics. You kind of want that voltage to hover around 13, and that's what a lithium would do for you. So
I just want to let you guys know, if you guys have any other questions, he's online, he's on Facebook, message him. As you can see, nice, clean, there's no wires anywhere. Need a lithium battery like installed, anything, graphs, mounts, and he even does household stuff. He even does trucks, he even does stereos.
You know, my heart's in boats, but, you know, car audio and remote starts and stuff like that fall in my lap, but this is where my heart is, you know, is bass boats. So
we went from the stock Falcon F185, got a couple graphs before, and of course, you guys know, I got the boat wrap done, and everyone knows I'm a huge Bills fan. Of course, I'm always wearing a Bills hat when I'm out and about, but anyway. But I just want to say thanks, and I appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, man.
Getting it done quick. He had it back to me in a week.
Yeah, I tell everybody usually, you know, if I'm doing a couple of graphs, you know, give it to me for, you know, 7 days, because I like to run through every boat and make sure there's nothing weird going on with wiring. I just want to make sure everybody's safe out there. So
that is the new upgrades for this boat. I think I'm about done. The only thing I could possibly maybe eventually upgrade to is Active Target 2. That's the only thing I don't have. I have Active Target 1 and it works great. I had great quality with it and never had an issue, but that's about the only thing that I could think of that I will upgrade for this boat. It's a cheaper boat. I mean, it's not cheap, but
yeah.
It ain't cheap whatsoever, but it's an 18-footer. That's all that I could afford.
It's a beautiful boat. I really like the layout of this boat too. It's very easy to work on and kind of smart. There's a lot of like little things, like that is genius right next to your seat, having a dock hitch, you know. I thought that was just cool. I don't know. I like these Falcons though. They're really cool.
So, hope you guys enjoy this video. This is an updated 2024 Falcon from what it was when it came stock to what it is now. I'll catch you guys next time. I'll be out in Percy Priest tomorrow, so we shall see how it goes. Check you guys out there. And once again, I thank you very much and I appreciate your time.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
All right.